16-year-old Denji, already world-weary from a life saddled with his late father's enormous debt, had a work ethic as sharp as a butter knife and the luck of a black cat crossing under a ladder. His only companion in his tragicomedy of a life was Puchita, a devil that looked like a chainsaw with a dog's enthusiasm, always ready to chew through trouble. Denji's dreams were as humble as they come: a peaceful life, a cozy home, and maybe even someone to share it with. Simple wishes for a boy whose life was anything but simple. After completing a job for a Yakuza boss, Denji shared his pipe dream with Puchita, imagining a future without debts or devils. However, the boss, proving once again that trusting a Yakuza with your dreams is like trusting a cat with your goldfish, ordered Denji to an abandoned warehouse. In a cruel twist, the boss revealed that he and his men had allied with the zombie devil. The betrayal was swift and brutal. Denji was dismembered and left for dead by the Yakuza-turned-zombies, adding being chopped into pieces to his already extensive list of bad days. In his final moments, as his blood seeped into Puchita's mouth, Denji experienced a vivid vision. Puchita, in an act of ultimate loyalty and sacrifice, offered to become Denji's heart in exchange for seeing him achieve his dreams. This pact breathed new life into Denji, who rose from the brink of death, whole once more, and with a new accessory, a pull string on his chest. Now a devil-human hybrid, Denji discovered his new power by pulling the cord that now protruded from his chest. He could transform into a fearsome form with chainsaws emerging from his head and arms. Fueled by a mix of rage and newfound strength, Denji unleashed havoc on the zombie devil and the Yakuza zombies, slicing through them with ruthless efficiency. It was like a horror movie, and a lumberjack competition had a very messy baby. As dawn broke, the aftermath of the bloody battle was discovered by a group of public safety devil hunters. Among them was their leader, Makima, who took a keen interest in the carnage and in Denji himself. When Denji, weary and desperate for human connection, asked for a hug, Makima obliged. Her embrace had a calming effect, causing Denji to revert to his human form. Recognizing his potential and perhaps seeing something more in him, Makima offered Denji a lifeline, a chance to live as a human under her care, promising food and safety. Overwhelmed with relief and joy, Denji accepted, his dreams of a better life flickering to life once more, now tethered to the enigmatic and powerful Makima. While riding in the car with Makima, Denji's stomach growled so loudly it sounded like a chainsaw revving up. Makima, with calm authority, told him that he was in her care now and expected yes or okay answers, no room for a dog that said no. Denji, who had thought Makima was kind, now found her a bit intimidating as she treated him more like a pet. It was like he had gone from devil hunter to devilish pup in seconds. Recalling Puchita, Denji's stomach growled again, almost as if it was agreeing with Makima. She suggested they get something to eat at the rest area, offering to pay and handing him his coat since he was shirtless. Denji beamed with joy, thinking he now loved Makima, because clearly nothing says romance like being treated to a meal and a coat by someone who also happens to be your boss. At the rest area, Denji ordered udon and sausage. Feeling dizzy from blood loss, Denji collapsed onto Makima, which probably wasn't the smoothest move. After apologizing, he explained his condition, and she asked how he became like that. Denji told her about his pet devil replacing his heart. Makima explained that his condition was rare, but she believed him because of her keen sense of smell. She reassured him that his friend was alive within him, and he gave off both human and devil sense. This made Denji excited, but he felt dizzy again and collapsed. When he woke up, their udon was ready. Makima asked if he could eat alone, and Denji initially boasted but quickly admitted he couldn't. She fed him the udon. Feeling warm fuzzies, Denji asked for her name and what type of guys she liked. Makima replied that she liked Denji types. Riding on cloud 9, Denji spent the rest of the trip to Tokyo thinking about her answer and boldly told her that he liked her too. Makima simply stated that they had arrived at the Devil Hunter headquarters in Tokyo, a reminder that even devil hunters couldn't escape the commute to work. Inside, Makima explained that Tokyo had over 1,000 devil hunters, including civilians, and that public safety offered the best benefits and paid vacation time. However, Makima handed Denji a uniform and introduced him to Aki Hayakawa, a co-worker who had started 3 years ago. She explained that Denji would be working with Aki for the day. Denji was disappointed, but Makima hinted that if he did a good job, they might work together someday. Denji took that as a maybe, and for him, maybe was good enough. While on patrol with Aki Hayakawa, Denji asked if Makima had a boyfriend. Aki initially ignored him but eventually led him to an alley where he punched him. Aki explained he was trying to be nice, because people who started this job without thinking often ended up dead. He guessed Denji took the job because of Makima, and Denji confirmed it. As Aki walked away, he declared he would tell Makima that Denji ran at the sight of devils. Denji, determined, ran after Aki and kicked him where it hurt most. After another round of nut-kicking, Denji explained that for the first time, he had udon and sausage and was treated like a human. While he might not have thought much about devil hunting initially, he didn't mind dying if he could keep this new lifestyle. However, he corrected himself, realizing it wasn't just his life on the line anymore. Aki, in pain but undeterred, attacked Denji again, telling him that a punk like him shouldn't be chasing someone like Makama. Denji retaliated with another kick to the groin. As Aki fell, he grudgingly acknowledged that Denji indeed had a peculiar fighting style. Back at headquarters, Denji claimed that the nut devil had attacked Aki's nuts, but Aki called it a lie. Makima asked if they could work together. Despite their protests, she decided they would be a team. Aki didn't want another troublemaker, but Makima reminded him of the experimental nature of their unit. Aki, still skeptical, wondered what Denji really was. Makima revealed that Denji could turn into a devil, something Aki had heard rumors about but never believed. She stated that Denji was special and would receive special treatment, warning that if he tried to quit or refuse work, he would be disposed of as a devil. Aki reluctantly accepted that Denji would be living with him so he could keep an eye on him, with the authority to kill him if he tried to run. Denji wondered if Makima was a bad person, and Aki advised him to give up on her if he thought that way, noting he should be grateful she didn't kill him. Still confused, Denji asked if Makima was a good person, and Aki confirmed it, saying she had saved his life. The next morning at Aki's place, Denji made a mess of the kitchen, using various jams to create a breakfast monstrosity. His carefree manner grated on Aki's nerves, like a cat using a chalkboard as a scratching post. On a mission later, they encountered a fiend. As they entered the building, Denji asked what a fiend was, and Aki explained that a fiend was when a devil took control of a human corpse. They found the fiend, and Aki told Denji to kill it by transforming, wanting to see if he was useful. Instead, Denji beheaded the fiend with an axe, explaining that transforming got too messy, and he wanted to make it painless for the fiend. Aki scolded him, emphasizing that fiends were like devils and deserved no sympathy. He pointed out that everyone, including the police officers, was risking their lives and taking the job seriously, except for Denji. Aki asked if Denji was trying to make friends with devils, to which Denji replied that if there were a devil he could be friends with, he would, as he had no friends. Aki left, saying he would remember that. Alone in the room, Denji revealed his true motive. He just wanted to keep the blood away from the porn magazines on the ground. As he reflected on his new life, he felt something was missing. Thinking of what others might dream of, he thought of Makima and decided his new goal was to touch a woman's breasts. Later, Makima assigned him a new partner, explaining that public safety operated with two-person teams for smaller missions. When his new partner arrived, Makima warned him that she was a fiend. Power, with her devilish energy, introduced herself loudly. Denji's attention quickly shifted to her chest, and he decided he was happy to meet her. Makima explained that while fiends were usually up for extermination, Power was rational and part of Aki's team. She reminded them that the experimental team would be dissolved if they didn't produce results, and they knew what that would mean for them. With her conspicuous horns, Power was a sight to behold. Makima advised them to patrol areas with fewer pedestrians. Power, with all the subtlety of a tornado, immediately started to get on Denji's nerves, demanding something to kill as she was starved for blood. Denji, torn between annoyance and attraction, still thinking about how to achieve his newfound goal. They met some policemen, and Denji dutifully recalled that Makima had instructed them to introduce themselves as part of the Public Safety Devil Extermination Special Division 4 and show their IDs. Despite their efforts, they couldn't find any devils. Suddenly, Power smelled blood and took off like a rocket. She spotted a sea cucumber devil being reported and, with a dramatic leap, formed a hammer from her own blood and smashed the devil, creating a bloody spectacle. As she laughed maniacally, Denji couldn't help but feel like he was stuck in the world's most chaotic buddy cop movie. complete with an eccentric cast. While a group of people worked on cleaning the mess Power made during her overenthusiastic takedown of the cucumber devil, Makima approached with a mix of calm authority and mild annoyance. She explained to Power that if a member of the Public Safety Demon Hunter Division kills a civilian hunter's devil, it's considered obstructing that hunter's business. Power, trying to deflect blame, pointed at Denji and claimed that he made her do it. Denji, looking like a kid caught with his hand in the cookie jar, protested and called her a liar. Their argument quickly escalated into a comedic shouting match, with insults flying back and forth until Makima finally raised her voice, demanding silence. Power instantly stopped, giving Denji a smug look. Makima sighed, expressing her desire to see them working well together. Power nodded vigorously, as if she hadn't just been arguing like a toddler. A few moments later, Denji bought himself a drink, savoring the small luxury. Buying a drink felt like a dream come true, but he realized that if things kept going like this, being thirsty would be the least of his problems. Power, meanwhile, was petting a stray cat and explaining that she liked cats and hated humans. She also hated devils because one of them had taken her pet Meowie. She hadn't given up hope of getting Meowie back and was willing to do whatever it took, though she doubted Denji could understand her concern. Denji scoffed at the idea of doing all that for a cat and declared that he would do anything to touch some breasts, but if it were for a dog, he would understand her actions. Power perked up at this and suggested that he could touch her breasts if he helped her retrieve Meowie. Denji's eyes lit up and his mission became clear. With approval from the Public Safety Division, the duo set off. Power guided Denji, explaining that only he could fight the devil since it might use Meowie as a shield. Denji talked about his pet, Puchita. He couldn't pet Puchita anymore, but he was in his heart. Power rolled her eyes, finding humans sappy and stating that it just meant Puchita was dead, and that heart talk was sad self-comfort. Denji, determined to stay focused, thought he would never get along with her. She was like the human equivalent of a cat meme, cute but deadly. Meanwhile, Makima met with higher-ups who discussed the use of devils in the military. They asked about her squad's performance, and Makima noted that one member was promising and another interesting. They reminded her to focus on training them and not get too attached. To Makima, it felt like herding cats. In a car, Aki expressed his doubts about Denji, finding him disgusting and not interesting. He wondered why Makima had high hopes for him. Makima explained the concept of devils' names affecting their power, noting that a chainsaw devil sounded formidable. Aki remained skeptical, noting Denji's lack of serious motivation. Denji just wanted to live the good life, like some kind of freeloading house cat. Denji and Power reached the outskirts of the city. Power pointed to a house, indicating that the devil who took Meowie was inside. Denji hoped he wouldn't need to turn into chainsaws, but Power thought he was joking. As they approached, Denji recalled Power's warning about the devil using the cat as a shield and asked why she was so close. Power smirked and said she misspoke. In a flash, she created a blood hammer and knocked Denji out, giggling that she had hammered home her point. Power dragged Denji inside. The Bat Devil greeted her, annoyed by the delay. He thought she had run away. Power explained her regained freedom and presented Denji as promised. The Bat Devil picked up Denji, commenting on his youthful vigor. The Bat Devil showed his injured arm, which he planned to heal with Denji's blood. Denji, unimpressed, was squeezed, causing him to cough up blood. The Bat Devil drank it, but found it disgusting and threw Denji away. His arm regenerated, but he still wanted to eat more humans to cleanse his palate. It was like ordering a bad meal and hoping dessert would save the day. Power, watching this, recalled her first encounter with Meowie, a starved kitten she found after killing a bear. She had planned to fatten Meowie up to eat her but grew attached instead. The Bat Devil had taken Meowie, demanding human blood in exchange for the cat. Now, seeing Meowie swallowed, Power understood Denji's pain of losing Puchita. It was an awful feeling. The Bat Devil then swallowed her too. The Bat Devil complained about her taste and decided to eat children next. He flew towards the city but felt a tug on his leg. Denji clung to him. The devil was surprised and captured Denji again. Denji recalled a day when he couldn't find Puchita, fearing a devil had eaten him. Finding Puchita crying at home, he fell asleep holding him. Denji imagined Power's sleepless nights worrying about Meowie. With resolve, he pulled the cord on his chest, transforming into the chainsaw devil and slicing the bat devil's arms to free himself. They crashed into a building. Denji told a woman to run. The bat devil questioned why Denji, a devil, would care about saving humans. Denji punched him and continued fighting, telling more humans to flee. The bat devil threw a car with a person inside at Denji, who caught and threw it back, hitting the devil. The bat devil used a shockwave to blow Denji away, then grabbed the human from the car to heal. But the chainsaw noise persisted. Denji, furious, declared that he still hadn't copped a feel. Terrified, the bat devil threw debris, but Denji deflected it and cut the devil's arm, finally killing him by disemboweling him. The bat devil was all bark and no bite. Power was often seen decapitating animals in the forest, drinking their blood with a twisted glee. Despite her gruesome hobbies, she spent time with Meowie, who started to grow on her. When the bat devil captured Meowie and demanded a human in return, Power didn't hesitate to head towards the city, questioning her motives along the way. Saving Meowie seemed like a foolish reason, especially given her love for blood. Yet she had recently realized that blood was warm and felt pleasant. Power wakes up cradling Meowie, only to find herself being held by Denji, with the bat devil's intestines scattered around them like a morbid confetti. She's baffled. Why on earth would Denji save her after she tried to kill him? Before she can even blink, Denji, always the straightforward guy, points to her chest and says, "I want to touch them." Power, never one to hold back, thinks his reason is utterly foolish, but kind of respects the honesty. She apologizes for deceiving him, and since Meowie is safe, and offers him the chance to cop a feel. Denji's eyes light up like a kid in a candy store, and just as he's about to raise his arm, it gets blown off faster than a firework on the 4th of July. Enter the leech devil, who casually picks up Denji's arm and munches on it like it's a chicken wing. Power, now completely immobile, tells Denji to take Meowie and make a run for it. But Denji, always the stubborn one, pulls the cord on his chest. Out pops a tiny chainsaw, and he realizes he's running low on blood. The leech devil, eyeing him like he's a snack, deduces that Denji killed her boyfriend, the bat devil. She finds him oddly cute, like a murderous puppy, and decides to let him go, but only after she devours Power and Meowie. Denji, ever the romantic, refuses to die before he gets to touch Power's chest. "Now I gonna tell you, this fight is too good, so grab your popcorn and make sure you didn't miss any scene." The leech devil, finding his dream ridiculously lame, decides to crush it, literally. As they start to tango, Denji dodges her attacks, eventually landing a punch. But the leech devil pushes him back, stating he's too weak to have killed the bat devil. Denji, unfazed, declares he won't die until he fulfills his simple dream. The leech devil laughs, mocking his weak resolve. Denji charges at her, managing to nick her neck with his mini chainsaw. He rants about how everyone belittles his dreams and how theirs are always supposedly better. Getting more and more riled up, he proposes a dream battle. If he kills her, it means her dream was weaker. As they fight, Denji goes full-on berserk, grabbing an intestine and wrapping it around her like a twisted game of jump rope. The battle gets crazier until she impales him with her tongue, ready to finish him off. Just then, Aki arrives like a hero in an action movie, summoning the fox devil with a cool con. The fox devil chomps down on the leech devil's head, ending the fight in one swift bite. In the aftermath, the fox devil asks for permission to swallow the leech devil, and Aki obliges. He confirms the extermination and orders the newbie devil hunters to search and rescue. Turning to Himeno, he instructs her to keep watch for more devils. Denji wakes up in the hospital, where Aki explains they found his arm and reattached it with a blood infusion. Denji, always curious, notices Aki's camaraderie with the fox devil. Aki explains the whole devil contract thing, revealing he sacrificed some skin for the fox devil's power. Eyeing the apples Aki's cutting, tries to snatch one, but Aki pulls them away, explaining that devils and fiends crave human death. Denji, ever the simpleton, thinks power is cool. Aki recounts how they tracked Denji and Power through surveillance cameras, discovering the Bat Devil's hideout and lots of Denji's blood. He assumes Power tried to kill Denji but is baffled as to why Denji's protecting her. Denji, master of deceit, plays dumb. Aki, recalling reports of grateful people praising the Chainsaw Devil, warns Denji that digging deeper would mean writing a report that could get Power and himself disposed of. Offering an apple slice, Aki proposes a deal. Keep things quiet and Denji's lifestyle remains unchanged. Denji, munching on the apple, agrees, claiming Aki can count on him, despite his lack of grand dreams. Outside the room, Power waits with Himeno. Aki, stepping out, faces Power, who demands confirmation of her innocence. Himeno notes if she's released and kills someone, it's Aki's responsibility. Aki, always the pragmatist, decides to keep using devils and fiends against their enemies. Later, Aki reports to Makima about the day's events.
Yes, come in.
He recounts how Denji and Power strayed from their patrol zone, but ended up eliminating the Bat Devil and the Leech Devil. Makima, noting the absence of gun flesh, acknowledges their efforts. She observes Aki's newfound flexibility, suggesting Denji's influence, though Aki denies any change. Morning comes, and Aki starts his day with a serene routine, washing up, making coffee, and enjoying the quiet. Denji wakes up, groggily heads to the bathroom, then dives into breakfast while Aki does house chores. As Aki preps curry for lunch, a violent knock disrupts the peace.
What a dismal abode you have here.
Power crashes in. Aki receives a call from Makima, who wants Power under his care too. Despite his reservations, Makima assures him Power promised to behave. As they sit for lunch, Power, faced with veggies, dramatically tosses her plate, declaring her disdain for the food. Denji and Aki, unified in their disapproval, scold her. Power, unfazed, clogs the toilet and skips bathing, much to their dismay. In the midst of unclogging the toilet, Denji finds Power standing in front of him, pointing to her chest. She's ready to fulfill her promise, offering him 3 squeezes.
One's for safely rescuing my cat. Slaying the Bat Devil got you a second one. And your third is for protecting me.
Denji, over the moon, thinks she's an angel as he eagerly counts his blessings. Power let Denji get a feel, but as soon as he did, he felt something was off. Something literally fell off. Power nonchalantly revealed that she was using pads to make her breasts appear bigger and let him touch her 2 more times, this time pad-free. She then strutted out of the bathroom, boasting that it must have felt good, leaving Denji dumbstruck and wondering if that was all there was to it. Reality can be quite underwhelming. The next day, Denji didn't have an appetite and patrolled with Power, constantly spacing out and unmotivated. At the office, he signed documents under Makima's watchful eye. Noticing his glum demeanor, she asked what was on his mind. Denji, ever the philosopher, explained that he got what he always wanted, but it didn't feel great. He mused aloud whether he'd be happier in the pursuit rather than the achievement. Makima, in her infinite wisdom, took his hand and explained that knowing the person made the experience better. While playing with his hand, she instructed him to observe the little details: the length of fingers, the warmth of their hand, the shape of their ears. Then she bit his finger, asking if anyone had ever bitten it before. Denji, now thoroughly perplexed, watched as she placed his hand on her chest. Panic-stricken, Denji fell on his back. Makima then asked him to defeat the Gun Devil, recounting how it appeared 13 years ago in America and then vanished. It was a formidable foe every devil hunter dreamt of defeating. She believed Denji, being special, could kill it and offered him 1 wish in return. Denji's eyes lit up, fantasizing about all sorts of rewards, including the not-so-wholesome ones. Makima explained that increased gun use led to the Gun Devil's emergence after a massive terrorist attack in America. Young Aki, playing catch with his brother Taiyo, was caught in the chaos as the Gun Devil obliterated their home, killing 1.2 million people in 5 minutes and disappearing, leaving behind fear and stronger devils. To curb the Gun Devil's power, laws were enacted to limit gun possession and news coverage on gun-related incidents. Denji, determined, declared he would defeat the Gun Devil. Makima showed him bullets from the Gun Devil's flesh, explaining that they would react and lead them to the original body once they accumulated enough. Meanwhile, Aki found another piece of the Gun Devil after killing the Fish Devil. public safety received a new mission, a devil sighting at Hotel Morin. Several civilian devil hunters had died attempting to kill it. Suspecting the devil had eaten a piece of the gun devil, 6 hunters, including Denji, were assigned to deal with it. Outside the hotel, Aki confirmed the devil inside had a piece of the gun devil as his piece reacted towards the hotel. Denji guessed it might be the gun devil itself, but Aki dismissed the idea, stating the reaction should have been stronger. Hirokazu didn't trust Power and Denji, and Aki assured him they would be the first to engage devils and could be killed if they tried to run away. Himeno urged him not to be hard on the kids. Denji agreed, stating he hadn't rested from fighting the bat devil and wanted a reward. Himeno then promised a kiss on the cheek to whoever killed the devil. Denji, recalling his moment with Makama, declined, stating he had decided who he was going to be kissing. Himeno upped the ante, offering a French kiss, which sent Denji rushing into the hotel, super motivated. Hirokazu chased after Denji, declaring that he couldn't let a nameless rascal take Himeno's lips and it would be better if he got a cheek kiss. Power and Kobeni joined in the argument. Aki, doubting the newbies, was reassured by Himeno that Hirokazu had motivation and Kobeni was strong despite her lack of bravery. Aki speculated they would either die or quit within a year. Himeno urged Aki not to die. In a flashback, at a graveyard, Kishibe introduced an injured Himeno to her new teammate, Aki. She questioned his usefulness, and Aki modestly responded. Probably she revealed Aki was her 6th partner, all previous ones having died because they were garbage. She then reiterated to Aki, "Don't die." The devil hunters continued their search. Himeno sensed a devil approaching. A door opened, revealing a head with a hand and foot. It lunged at Kobeni but froze mid-air, allowing Power to slice it in half with a blood sword. She boasted about scaring the devil stiff, but Himeno explained it was her power, a contract with the ghost devil, which cost her right eye. Still not finding the gun devil's piece, they proceeded. Power wondered if Himeno's revelation about her power meant she intended to fight her. Himeno, unfazed, mentioned having an ace up her sleeve. Power then mused about killing Kobeni, but Himeno, using the ghost devil, grabbed Power and stated she could kill her anytime. Reaching the next floor, Hirokazu noticed a blood splatter, identical to the one on the previous floor. Despite moving up, they were still on the 8th floor. Confused, Hirokazu went downstairs, only to reappear from upstairs, bewildering the group. As Hirokazu descended the stairs with all the elegance of a drunk ballerina, the devil hunters collectively raised an eyebrow. Himeno, ever the sharp one, instructed Kobeni to flash a peace sign and freeze in place, just in case things got weird. Himeno then attempted the stairs herself, only to reappear from upstairs like some cosmic joke. Aki, with a mix of curiosity and dread, wandered into a room. Peering through the window, he saw another room, definitely not the scenic view he was hoping for. He stepped through the door and found himself back on the 8th floor. Déjà vu on steroids, as Denji cheerfully confirmed when he discovered the windows led to the room directly opposite. Aki's brain finally connected the dots. They were stuck on the 8th floor, trapped in an architectural prank. Attempts to escape became the devil hunter's new favorite hobby. Stairs, windows, elevators, and even the ceiling, they all led back to the dreaded 8th floor. Denji, ever the optimist, blamed Power for sealing them in. Power, never one to miss a beat, immediately threw Denji under the bus. Aki, the voice of reason, explained that wasn't possible since a devil's power should vanish upon its death. Himeno, with a mixture of frustration and awe, noted it was her first encounter with such trickery. Hirokazu, hoping for a rescue, feared other hunters might fall into the same trap. Kobeni, on the other hand, was ready to audition for a horror movie, convinced they were all going to die. Her tearful confession about her career choice, devil hunting, or, less reputable work, earned her mocking laughter from Power.
Her face is so priceless!
Stop laughing!
Aki, ever the detective, noticed all clocks were frozen at 8:18. Realizing time itself had taken a coffee break, he figured no rescue was coming. Denji, seeing a silver lining, celebrated the endless sleep opportunity. Hirokazu, failing to share Denji's enthusiasm, called him an idiot, sparking a philosophical debate about eternity and naps. Hours later, Himeno, channeling her inner alarm clock, woke Denji with news water and electricity still worked, and they had scavenged some abandoned food. Aki, dedicated as ever, refused to rest, while Hirokazu had locked himself in a room, paralyzed by fear. Kobeni, on the brink of madness, attempted to drink from the toilet until Himeno now knocked her out for her own good. Proving she's an overachiever in absurdity, dreamt of Nobel Prizes in a future where she'd impose a 100% tax as prime minister. Denji, noticing Himeno's tension, reassured her that Power's insanity was perfectly normal. As Himeno smoked her last cigarette, Denji noted she shared Aki's brand. She reminisced about teaching Aki to smoke, their past conversations, and Aki's determination to outlive his profession's grim statistics. Himeno recalled how Aki once retaliated against a grieving woman who blamed her for a teammate's death, putting gum in her hair in a rare act of rebellion that made her laugh. Back in the present, Aki, needing a smoke, borrowed Himeno's last cigarette, ignoring Denji's childish remark about an indirect kiss. Aki then dropped the bad news the devil they killed was getting bigger. The hunters ventured into the hallway, only to find it blocked by a grotesque blob of flesh. The devil, oozing malevolence and body parts, offered them a deal Denji's life for their freedom. Kobeni, knife in hand and panic in her eyes, agreed instantly but was quickly disarmed by Aki and knocked out by Himeno. Aki's attempt to summon the fox devil failed, confirming their isolation. Himeno's ghost devil attacked the blob, causing it pain but making it grow larger. The devil, calling itself the Eternity Devil, reiterated its offer. The group deliberated. Aki refused to sacrifice Denji, suspecting the devil's gain. Power, indifferent to loyalty, was ready to kill Denji for her Nobel dreams. Aki reminded her that a fiend can't form a contract, so killing Denji would be pointless. As they argued, the devil grew, feeding on their fear. The floor tilted, turning their world sideways. Kobeni and Hirokazu demanded Denji's death to save themselves, but Aki, despite the shortened lifespan it would cause, was determined to use his sword as a last resort. Himeno, valuing Aki's life, stopped him with her ghost devil. As chaos ensued, Hirokazu jumped Denji and Kobeni tried to stab him. Aki shielded Denji, taking the knife himself, and bled profusely. Despite the pain, Aki argued he needed Denji alive to defeat the gun devil. Denji, moved by Aki's sacrifice, resolved to fight. Promising Himeno her kiss, he pulled his cord and leaped into the hallway to face the Eternity Devil, determined to turn its infinity into an eternal nightmare. Denji, ever the thrill-seeker, pulls his cord and leaps towards the Eternity Devil with the enthusiasm of a kid diving into a ball pit. His chainsaws roar to life, slashing and hacking at everything in his path. The Eternity Devil, unfazed and a tad condescending, indicates that its heart isn't there. Power, always the helpful critic, points out that if Denji keeps bleeding, his chainsaws will retract. The Eternity Devil laughs, finding the Chainsaw Man's weakening state amusing. But Denji, never one to back down, bites into the Eternity Devil and drinks its blood, thinking that even bad-tasting blood tastes good when it comes with a side of devil agony. Watching Denji's lunatic brawl, Himeno recalls a conversation with Kishibe at Sahara's grave. Kishibe had told her that devils fear hunters with a few screws loose. Sane hunters like Sahara end up dead, but the crazy ones, they're the real deal. Himeno starts to wonder if Denji, with his reckless bravery, might be the key to defeating the gun devil. As the fight rages on, the Eternity Devil knocks Denji down, gloating about its imminent victory. But Himeno, not one to let the drama end so quickly, uses her ghost devil to pull Denji's cord. Denji springs up, thinking he's had a genius idea. He'll keep cutting the Eternity Devil and drinking its blood in a never-ending cycle, a perpetual motion machine of pain. Himeno, seeing Denji's insane determination, starts to believe he might actually pull off the impossible. 3 days later, Denji is still fighting. Himeno lies down next to a weary Aki, telling him it's over. The Eternity Devil, in unbearable agony, reveals its heart and begs Denji to end its suffering. Denji, surprised the fight is already over, slices the devil's heart and kills it. The hunters finally leave the hotel, with Denji clutching a piece of the gun devil. Feeling victorious, he promptly collapses from exhaustion. Himeno catches him and decides it's time to get Aki and Denji to a hospital, while Kobeni and Hirokazu handle the reporting. Later, Himeno talks about throwing a newbie welcome party for Division 4. She hopes it will help Kobeni and Hirokazu feel more at ease, and maybe stop regretting their attempt to kill Denji. Aki agrees, suggesting they do it before Makima leaves for her work trip. Himeno ponders the mystery of Denji and why Makima seems so interested in him, suspecting she knows something they don't. At the party, Division 4 gathers for drinks. Aki notes Fushi didn't bring his fiend, but Fushi explains that his fiend isn't as rational as power. Kobeni arrives late, and Makima promises to join them later. While looking at the menu, Denji remembers Himeno's promised kiss, and she assures him he'll get it once she's drunk enough. The newbies introduce themselves. Denji, 16, loves eating and sleeping. Hirokazu, 22, has a contract with the Fox Devil and writes haikus. Kobeni, 20, keeps her devil contract secret but loves tasty food. Fushi reveals his newbie died the day before, underscoring the perilous nature of their job. Himeno, in a moment of encouragement, promises Denji won't die because he's waiting for a kiss. Makima arrives and overhears Denji's kiss talk, making him backpedal furiously. Himeno playfully challenges him, and Denji, torn between embarrassment and desire, tries to change the subject by mentioning the gun devil piece. Makima, already informed, listens as Aki notes the increasing appearance of devils with gun devil pieces. He wonders if Makima knows something about Denji, and she teasingly offers to tell him if he can outdrink her. Himeno joins the drinking contest, and the three start downing beers like seasoned pros. One of the members marvels at Power's ability to suppress her violent urges. Power, ever modest, attributes it to her very high IQ. When asked to specify, she whimsically adjusts her IQ from 100 to 500, then to 1,000, as if it's a fluctuating stock market. Amidst the laughter, Himeno finally leans in and kisses Denji. He's thrilled until he feels something else. Himeno is vomiting in his mouth. The room erupts in laughter as Power gleefully points out Denji's habit of swallowing anything nutritious. Denji ends up in the bathroom, vomiting with Hirokazu helping him. Hirokazu shares that he's used to this thanks to his perpetually drunk mother. He expresses envy for Denji, who counters that his first kiss was vomit-filled, and there's nothing enviable about that. After the party, Himeno takes a staggering Denji home. He wakes up in the night, desperate for water, only to have Himeno give him beer from her mouth. Himeno proceeds to take off his pants but finds a chupa chups in his pocket. The sight triggers a flashback for Denji to a moment, when Makima, noticing he felt queasy from the vomit, took him outside for some fresh air and gave him nausea medicine. Denji had shared his woes about his bad first kiss, and Makima, ever the enigmatic, handed him her chupa chups, telling him that while he may never forget the taste of vomit, he will experience many first tastes, starting with this cola-flavored lollipop. Back in the present, Himeno falls asleep mid-seduction, and Denji, showing remarkable restraint, lies on the floor next to the bed. He looks at the chupa chups and apologizes to Pakita, stating he wants to save his first time for Makima. In the morning, Himeno wakes Denji for breakfast. Over their meal, she admits she doesn't remember anything from last night and wonders if she did anything to him. Denji, ever blunt, tells her he won't do it with a vomit lady and is saving his first time for Makima. She proposes a secret alliance. She'll help him with Makima if he helps her with Aki. Denji agrees, and Himeno declares that from now on, they're not just senior and junior but friends. She invites him to join her for breakfast with Aki and Power sometimes, though Denji is more interested in whether Makima would join them. Elsewhere, Makima is on a train to Kyoto to meet with her bosses, dreading the encounter as she finds them intimidating. Just before reaching Kyoto, the train enters a tunnel, and the men sitting around her pull out guns, shooting her and her assistant. The assassins make a call, signaling the start of their operation. Across Tokyo, Division 4 members are ambushed during their missions. Denji, Himeno, Aki, and Power are enjoying ramen at a shop when Denji hears gunshots. Power dismisses it as drums, but a man strikes up a conversation with Denji, incredulous that he can enjoy such terrible ramen. He reveals that his grandpa was the Yakuza boss who hired Denji as a devil hunter. The man, with a twisted sense of nostalgia, explains that the gun devil wants Denji's heart before pulling out a gun and shooting Denji in the head. He fires at the others, but power retaliates, and Aki summons the fox devil to eat the assailant. However, the fox devil warns Aki that the man put something monstrous inside her. The assailant, transforming into a katana-wielding hybrid, cuts open the fox devil's head and emerges, ready for more. Aki draws his sword, instructing Power to stop Ameno's bleeding. Power, surprised to see Aki's sword, is a large nail, watches as he pierces the katana man, with a devil's voice counting down. Despite a fierce battle, Aki calls upon the cursed devil, which finally grabs the katana man and kills him. Aki turns to check on Himeno, only to be ambushed by a mysterious woman who revives the katana man. She orders him to kill Aki, who narrowly survives a brutal slash. Himeno, desperate, offers herself entirely to the ghost devil, who appears fully and fights the katana man. As Himeno loses her arms in the struggle, she reflects on Aki's habit of crying for fallen comrades and hopes he will cry for her too. Despite the ghost devil's initial success, the woman summons the snake devil, which decapitates the ghost devil. Aki turns to find Himeno gone, her clothes the only evidence she was ever there. Akane uses the snake devil to kill the ghost devil. Katana Man notes that the fiend has fled, but Akane reminds him their target is Chainsaw's heart, so there's no need to chase her. Suddenly, a hand from the ghost devil reaches out and pulls Denji's cord, revving his chainsaw. Transformed into Chainsaw Man, Denji recognizes them as the bad guys he loves to fight, because no one complains when he kills them. He leaps into action, engaging Katana Man in a fierce battle. Akane quickly reports their combat situation in the West Narima building and requests backup. The fight between Katana Man and Denji rages on, with neither gaining a clear advantage. 2 reinforcements arrive to support Katana Man, who instructs them to target Denji's arms or heart. However, Denji swiftly knocks them down before they can shoot. One man manages to fire, but Denji grabs him as a hostage, warning Katana Man to stay put or he'll kill him. Katana Man, undeterred, kneels and in an instant slashes both Denji and his comrade in half. He then picks up Denji by the handle on his head, reverting to his normal form, and remarks that his devil hunter friends should be dead by now, as they can't win against guns. Elsewhere, Hirokazu Arai, Fushi, and other Division 4 members, including Makima, have been shot dead. As Makima's train approaches Kyoto, her assailants prepare to blend into the crowd, but Makima stands up, unscathed. At Kyoto Station, Yutaro Kuros and Michiko Tendo await the train. They are informed that Special Divisions 1, 2, 3, and 4 were ambushed in Tokyo. Concerned about Makima, they wonder if their wait was in vain. As the train arrives, panicked passengers flee, and Makima emerges, calmly stating she was shot at, and there are bodies to clean up. Covered in blood, she reassures them it's not hers. Inside the train, her attackers are all dead. Yutaro and Michiko brief Makima on the Tokyo situation, suggesting she return. Makima decides to handle it from Kyoto, requesting 30 convicts serving life sentences or worse from Yutaro and a high-altitude shrine from Michiko, along with clean clothes. The convicts are transported to the shrine, unsure of their destination. One convict jokes, "If this is a surprise birthday party, I'm not impressed at the shrine." Makima changes into fresh clothes. Michiko informs her the convicts are arriving. Moments later, they are dropped off at the bottom of the shrine's steps. Katana Man tells Akane he's unable to fight for a while. As their comrades carry Denji, one spots a crow and feels uneasy. "That's one suspicious bird," he mutters, before being crushed to death. Akane immediately contacts Team E, seeking confirmation of Makima's death. Unable to reach Team C, she witnesses another comrade being crushed. At the shrine, Makima, along with Michiko, Yutaro, and the blindfolded convicts, begins her ritual. Yutaro questions the blindfolds, and Michiko explains that Makima's contracts with devils are top secret, even from ordinary devil hunters. Makima instructs a convict to repeat the name Shuzo Mishima. As he does, Makima performs hand signs, and Mishima is crushed to death along with the convict. She repeats this with Takashi Inui crushing another comrade of Katana Man. Panic ensues among Katana Man's comrades, but Makima kills them one by one, leaving only Katana Man and Akane alive. She then instructs Michiko and Yutaro to remove their blindfolds, revealing the dead convicts. "It's like a magic trick," Makima quips. except no rabbits, just bodies. Makima states she has done what she can from Kyoto and will now return to Tokyo. Akane deduces that Makima is behind the killings. Katana Man and Akane then spot Kobeni approaching. Earlier, Hirokazu sacrificed himself to protect Kobeni from a granny shooter. Kobeni, now armed and dangerous, assumes Akane and Katana Man are the shooters. Akane summons the snake devil's tail, but Kobeni dodges and runs along it. Katana Man shoots at her, but she closes in, cutting off his arm and shooting him in the back. Akane grabs a gun, but Kobeni uses Denji as a shield. Akane retreats, dragging Katana Man into a van. Kobeni, holding Denji, apologizes for trying to kill him before, laughing and crying as she recalls Hirokazu's death and her own madness. She vows to quit when she sees Himeno. Makima, Michiko, and Yutaro arrive in Tokyo and meet Madoka at the station. Makima is pleased he survived and asks about the casualties. Madoka reports that nearly all humans in Special Divisions 1 to 4 were killed. Due to the personnel shortage, the divisions will merge into one under Makima's control. Madoka hands her his resignation letter, explaining that the Special Division has become too dangerous. He asks Makima one final question about how much she anticipated. Makima, unable to discuss internal affairs, thanks him for his service. Yutaro and Michiko clarify they are only advisors and will return to Kyoto in a week. Makima, disappointed, mentions the many great restaurants in Tokyo. I was looking forward to some company for sushi nights. Aki wakes up in a hospital bed and sees Denji and Power sitting next to him, engrossed in manga. Denji, munching on an apple, catches Power's eye. She demands he hand it over. Denji, ever the defiant one, refuses, claiming she fled the scene and doesn't deserve the apple. Power, ever the trickster, lies, saying she left because she was hungry. Denji isn't buying it, and the argument escalates like two kids fighting over the last cookie. Aki, feeling like a babysitter rather than a patient, interrupts to ask who else survived from Division 4. Denji nonchalantly mentions that Kobeni made it and the guy with glasses, but he quit. Denji explains that Makima called for him in Power, and they'll be splitting up with Aki. As a final gesture, Denji grabs the basket of apples, but leaves one for Aki, a rare moment of kindness. After they leave, Aki takes his sword and asks the cursed devil how much time he has left. The response, 2 years. Not the best news. He lights a cigarette, memories of Himeno flooding back, and he starts to cry. Denji, realizing he forgot his manga, returns to the room and finds Aki in tears. Understanding Aki's pain, Denji reflects on his own feelings. He felt sadness when Paka died, but not for Himeno. He questions if he'd cry for Power or Aki, deciding he probably wouldn't. Makima's death might make him sad for a few days, but then he'd move on. Denji wonders if he's lost his human heart, but quickly dismisses the thought. Serious stuff is too much for him. Denji and Power meet Makima at a cemetery. She explains the hotel incident and recent attack were aimed at Denji. He wonders if she'll train them, but she introduces them to Himeno's master, Kishibe, instead. Kishibe, wanting to gauge their motivations, asks how they felt about their teammates' deaths and if they seek revenge. Both answer indifferently. Kishibe, impressed by their answers, announces their training will begin. He's a booze-loving, devil-hunting master with a penchant for snapping necks. Kishibe, living up to his reputation, promptly incapacitates them. After giving them blood to recover, he explains Makima's request for their training. The gun devil wants Denji's heart, and Makima thinks Denji is too weak. Kishibe's goal trained them by constantly hunting them, a test of their strength. Denji and Power, thinking he's crazy, prepare to fight back. Power creates a blood hammer, but Kishibe swiftly stabs Denji and slashes Power's throat. Kishibe's plan turned them into the ultimate unbreakable toys. At the hospital, Aki tries to summon the fox devil, but it doesn't respond. Michiko and Yutaro, his new advisors, explain that Aki overused the devil's power. They suggest Aki make a contract with a stronger devil. Aki, determined to avenge his family and friends, refuses to quit. They leave, promising to return with paperwork. As night falls, Kishibe leaves Denji and Power bruised and battered, promising to meet them at their place the next day. Denji, on the ground making strange noises, seems to have broken his brain again. Power, ever the problem solver, hits him repeatedly to snap him out of it. Denji, coming to his senses, complains about their brutal training. Power suggests running away, but Denji knows they'd be hunted down. Instead, they devise a plan to outsmart Kishibe. The next day, they don glasses to look smarter. When Kishibe arrives, they launch their attack. Power throws a blood spear, but Kishibe dodges. She then drops blood spears from above, but Kishibe evades again. Denji, attempting a sneak attack, is swiftly kicked down by Kishibe. Kishibe acknowledges their effort but points out their mistakes. Power used too much blood, and Denji failed to predict Kishibe moves. Kishibe, pleased with their progress, ends the session by throwing a knife at Denji's head, reminding him that prey shouldn't trust the hunter. Michiko and Yutaro take Aki to a special facility, explaining the brutal contracts needed for stronger devils. Passing through cells, Yutaro asks about the woman who visited Aki, wondering if she's his girlfriend. Aki clarifies she's Himeno's sister. She gave Aki letters from Himeno, revealing her wish for Aki to quit. They take Aki to cell 108, introducing him to the future devil. Two people have made contracts with it before, paying steep prices. Aki steps in to face his potential new partner, ready to make his deal with the devil. Aki walked into the future devil's cell with all the enthusiasm of a cat at bath time. The future devil, looking like he just walked out of a Halloween store, kept chanting the future rules like a deranged sports fan.
The future rules! The future rules! The future rules!
Aki, as cool as a cucumber in a freezer, ignored the devil's cheerleading and laid out his business. He wanted to form a contract and wanted to know the price. The future devil, with all the charm of a DMV clerk, commented on Aki's bad attitude. He insisted on seeing Aki's future before deciding on a contract. With all the finesse of a street magician, the future devil told Aki to stick his head into the gaping hole in his gut. Aki, nonplussed but curious, complied. After a few awkward moments of Aki's head being in a place it really shouldn't be, the future devil burst into laughter. His price for the contract? He wanted to take up residence in Aki's right eye, rent-free. He cryptically mentioned something about Aki's imminent death, but Aki, with the grace of a man who's heard enough fortune cookie wisdom for one day, cut him off and told him to just move in already. Meanwhile, Kishibe was busy smacking Denji and Power around like they were in a martial arts training montage. He complimented their effort and said they could cut their daily beatings down to once a week. Kishibe then announced it was time for some live-action training against the Snake Devil Woman and Katana Man. It was a high-stakes game. If they failed, Division 4 would be dissolved, and Kishibe would personally ensure Denji and Power's permanent disposal. Denji, with the confidence of a teenager who just got his first set of car keys, vowed to spare Kishibe's life if it came to that. Kishibe later met with Makima, who seemed to enjoy her role as puppet master. Kishibe, clearly exhausted, griped about how every trainee he got attached to ended up dead, leading to more nights drinking alone. He bluntly accused Makima of knowing about the attack on the divisions. She gave a politician's answer about saving people, but Kishibe, ever the skeptic, called her a liar to her face. Over in the villain's lair, Katana Man and Akane were plotting. Akane, ever the optimist, told their minions that there was no escaping Makima's reach. She mentioned that even if Katana Man got taken out, he could be revived, but the underlings needed to avoid zombie bites. Katana Man chimed in, explaining they had an army of debtors turned zombies in the basement, ready to rumble. Yutaro, one of Aki's colleagues, couldn't resist a dig at Aki's expense, doubting his ability to take down the gun devil. Aki, never one to back down, told Yutaro to watch and learn, and if he died, he gave him full permission to laugh. As Yutaro dropped Aki off at public safety, he threw a canned drink at Aki's head as a weird gesture of support, along with some advice about the crazies in the special division. Makima had her own drama, meeting with the Yakuza boss linked to Katana Man. After a bit of polite conversation and a photo reveal of Akane's shady dealings, Makima asked for a list of names of those involved with the gun devil. The boss, thinking Makima would just jail them, agreed. But Makima, always the overachiever, wanted names from other families too, which the boss warned would lead to gang wars. Makima then revealed a paper bag full of the eyes of their loved ones, casually mentioning she could have them reattached if he cooperated. When one of the Yakuza goons tried to confront her, he ended up with a nosebleed and on his knees, proving Makima wasn't messing around. The Special Division, backed by the police, surrounded Katana Man's hideout. Aki, Denji, Power, and Kobeni stormed in, while Kishi briefed the police about sealing off exits and letting the Special Division handle the heavy lifting. The Special Division was basically a circus troupe of fiends and devils. Beam the Shark Fiend could swim through anything and had a penchant for zombie snacks. Galgali the Violence Fiend wore a gas mask to keep his poison in check and had a soft spot for human safety. And Princi the Spider Devil could switch between humanoid and spider form to wreak havoc. Angel Devil, a unique case, drained lifespans with a touch and was more annoyed by dirty shoes than anything else. Inside, Aki faced off against Akane, who summoned the Ghost Devil to do her dirty work. Using the future devil's power, Aki dodged and weaved like a prizefighter, but was eventually grabbed by the neck. Akane, ever the taskmaster, ordered the Ghost Devil to choke Aki to death. Memories of a time dining with Himeno flood his mind. Himeno, always the bad influence, tries to make Aki smoke. He finally accepts a cigarette but notes, with the sternness of a school principal, that she is terrible for making a minor smoke. Realizing her mistake, Himeno understands why he can't smoke and, with the swiftness of a ninja, takes back the cigarette. She tells him she'll keep it and give it to him when he grows up and needs something to take the edge off. The Ghost Devil releases Aki and extends one of its hands, giving him a cigarette. Aki takes the cigarette and reads Easy Revenge written on it. Pocketing the cigarette with a sense of determination, he stands up, grabs his sword, and marches towards the devil. He recalls Himeno's words that the Ghost Devil can't see but can sense fear. Steeling himself like a seasoned poker player, he gets on the devil and prepares to cut its head. With a resolute whisper to Himeno, promising to join her soon, he slices off the Ghost Devil's head. Akane, witnessing this, is left utterly gobsmacked. She starts summoning the Snake Devil but freezes as Kobeni appears, her knife poised at Akane's throat. Aki, ever the voice of reason amidst chaos, tells Kobeni not to kill Akane. He then asks Kobeni why she stayed in public safety, to which she replies with a deadpan seriousness that the bonus payments are coming soon. Meanwhile, in the world's most awkward elevator ride, Denji watches Power, munching on a zombie's arm like it's a casual snack. Power, with the nonchalance of someone discussing the weather, declares that meat is meat, whether pork, beef, or human. Denji, thoroughly disgusted, disagrees vehemently. The two are ready to duke it out when the elevator doors open on the 7th floor, revealing a group of zombies. Denji, trying to keep things low-key, tells Power that the zombies haven't noticed them and advises against making loud noises. Power, grinning like a mischievous child, yells her name, challenging the zombies to a fight. She instructs Denji to follow her and cover her back, but Denji, in an epic display of self-preservation, decides to stay in the elevator. Power fights the zombies, fully believing Denji is right behind her, ready to sing her praises. Denji reaches the 13th floor and as the doors open, he finds Katana Man with 2 henchmen. Katana Man, adopting a diplomatic tone, proposes a conversation. He explains that, depending on Denji's attitude, they might surrender. He blames Denji for killing his grandfather and friends, seeking retribution. Denji, with the emotional depth of a teaspoon, explains he did it because they turned into zombies. Katana Man, skeptical, insists they were once humans and questions whether Denji feels any guilt. Denji, blunt as ever, denies any remorse. Katana Man then reveals his own transformation, courtesy of Akane's modifications, replacing his heart with the Katana Devil. He recounts his sleepless nights after accidentally killing a zombie, believing Denji has lost his humanity. He proposes that Denji let them kill him if he has any conscience left. Denji, pondering for a moment, refuses the deal. Annoyed, Katana Man declares he will kill Denji, and the two transform. Katana Man attacks, and their battle takes them flying off the building and onto a nearby rooftop. They continue their rooftop-to-rooftop duel until Denji falls onto a train. Katana Man follows, commenting on Denji's increased speed and asking what he's fighting for. Denji, with a grin, states it's to protect his current life. They keep fighting until they fall inside the train, which grinds to a halt due to the commotion. Katana Man, taking a familiar stance, cuts off Denji's arm, then the other, insisting Denji can no longer fight and demanding an apology for his grandfather. Denji, ever the scrapper, declares he can still fight with his head chainsaw and charges. They exchange blows until Katana Man, in a taunting tone, asks if Denji's grandfather didn't teach him when to quit. At that moment, Denji's head chainsaw breaks. Katana Man demands an apology again. Denji, with a sly smile, points out Katana Man's predictable aim and reveals his chainsaw leg, slicing Katana Man in two. As Katana Man falls, Denji quips about the lesson never to trust a hunter, a perfect mic drop moment as his opponent splits in two. Katana Man awakens, tied up with a chainsaw chain to the train. Denji, with a sense of poetic justice, compares Katana Man to himself, noting the instant reformation when his katana is pulled. Denji mentions the police are on their way but admits there's something bothering him. He blames Katana Man for killing Himino, leading to one less pretty girl in the world. Denji finds it unfair that Katana Man will live out his days in prison without regret. Denji, with the logic of a chaotic child, suggests a nutshot tournament. Aki appears, curious about the so-called tournament. Denji explains they should take turns kicking Katana Man's balls until he screams the loudest before the cops arrive. Aki, initially skeptical, reflects on their job to capture, not torture, but eventually agrees, taking out the meaningful cigarette from the ghost devil and pocketing it again. He asks Denji what he gets if he wins. Denji, with a mischievous grin, replies that he'll naturally get Katana Man's balls. Katana Man, horrified, begs them to stop, but his pleas fall on deaf ears. The two then proceed to kick Katana Man, wondering aloud if Himino can hear their heartfelt tribute to her. Meanwhile, Makima reports that the terrorist attack was orchestrated by former civilian devil hunter Akane Sawatari. Makima's superior questions the motive, but before they could find out more, Akane was killed by the snake devil, likely due to her contract with the gun devil. Makima's superior, puzzled, wonders where it's heading. Later, after dinner, Aki steps out onto his balcony to smoke. He pulls out the cigarette with easy revenge written on it, reflecting for a moment before lighting it up and taking a drag, the smoke swirling around him like a ghostly reminder of Himino. Denji, meanwhile, dreams of his younger self in a back alley. Facing a mysterious door, he notes he has dreamt of this scene multiple times but always forgets it afterward. He hears Puchita's voice from behind the door and yearns to open it to touch him again. Puchita, however, warns him never to open the door. As the story concludes, a purple-haired woman walks toward a cafe, contemplating whether Denji would prefer the simple life of a country mouse or the excitement of a city mouse. And so ends another bizarre, thrilling, and often hilariously chaotic day in the world of devil hunters.